I'll kill you. So do what I've commanded so you don't die. There's always that threat. Believe in Jesus so you don't die. Hey guys, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I read Bibles so that you don't have to, and we're still here plodding through the beginning, boring chapters of Leviticus, and I don't know if this book gets better. I know that there is a pretty good one coming up in like 10 chapters. We're not there yet. We're still talking about sacrifices, and I thought that we were done them last episode because it kind of did a sign off like this is how that went, and that's that. But I sort of skimmed the first little part of this, and I feel like we're going to go back to some of that plus the description of priests and consecration and, you know, the way that they built the tabernacle. All that is going to probably be reiterated a little bit here. So I apologize for that. I love the stories. We all love the Bible stories. We like the parting of the Red Sea. We like manna from heaven. We like Mount Sinai. We like the story of Joseph and some of the stories of Abraham. Like, we like that stuff. So it's fun. When I was reading it, I was making fun of it. But now that this stuff is coming up, I'm like, what I wouldn't give to be back in Genesis right now, you know, with the incoherent tales of Tamar and Judah, with the incoherent tales of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those days are long gone. We're in Leviticus, and it isn't fun. But you can subscribe and like this video and comment on it and push us out into the algorithm so other people can come and suffer along with us because, hey, misery loves company. You know that. We're going to get right into it. Leviticus chapter 8. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and the bull of the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assemble all the congregation at the door of the tent of meeting." Okay, so I think that this is going to be the spelling out of the action of the thing that they already described Moses was supposed to do in Exodus. So we had the description of how they were supposed to build the tabernacle. And then we had the description of them building the tabernacle. And we had the description of how they're going to consecrate this priest. And now I think we're going to see them consecrate the priest in real time. Like, this is going to be the description of that actually happening. That's my guess, okay? But you guys can see if I'm right. I'm going to be right. Moses did as Yahweh commanded him, and the congregation was assembled at the door of the tent of meeting. Moses said to the congregation, "This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded to be done." This is the thing. We're going to do the thing. You know how people say that now? Yahweh told us to do a thing, and we're going to do the thing. So here is the thing. Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. He put the tunic on him, tied the sash on him, clothed him with the robe, put the ephod on him, and he tied the skillfully woven band of the ephod on him and fastened it to him with it. So basically what they said they were going to do, they did. He placed the breastplate on him and put the Urim and Thummim in the breastplate. What are the Urim and Thummim? I'll remind you, those are magic stones. Those are magic, powerful stones like magic 8 balls that people can roll, and God will speak through the stones and say yes, no, or maybe, or wait a while, and they'll be able to make decisions because they have magic, powerful magic stones. That's normal. This is normal, guys. Stop acting like this isn't true. Stop acting like this is exactly like any other sort of religion, be it pagan or just believing in crystals. Stop it. This is definitely real. He set the turban on his head. He set the golden plate, the holy crown, on the front of the turban as Yahweh commanded Moses. Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it, and sanctified them. Okay, they've been sanctified, whatever that means. Pour oil over everything and sanctified them. He sprinkled it on the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all its vessels and the basins and its base to sanctify them. Now, I mentioned health and safety in a previous chapter where they were like getting rid of some old meat. They're like, don't leave that lying around, guys. It's going to develop bacteria. Bacteria will grow. That's not healthy. And like clean out these containers, actually break the ones that are porous and clean out the ones that are not. But here we get cover everything in oil. And then you're going to try to pick it up? I mean, that's going to be crazy. It's going to be slipping through your fingers everywhere. It's like, oh no, I was trying. Where's the basin? I accidentally threw it. It just like flew out of my hand because it's covered in oil. How am I supposed to get a grip on that? Like everything's, that's not safe. Especially if something's completely covered with oil and hot. Now I know that a lot of that oil is going to burn off and stuff like that, and there's going to probably be a nice patina on it. But still, it's not safe, guys. It's actually just darn stupid, if you ask me. He poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head and anointed him to sanctify him. Everyone's being sanctified. Moses brought Aaron's sons and clothed them with tunics and tied sashes on them, and put headbands on them, as Yahweh commanded Moses. Again, we could have just said, did everything that we mentioned in that other chapter. Of course, they probably didn't write this with chapters, but he brought the bull of the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the bull of the sin offering. He killed it. And Moses took the blood and put it around on the horns of the altar with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. It stinks like blood in here. And sanctified it to make atonement for it. When we described that it was going to happen, it was gross. And now like I'm picturing him doing it. It's like just gross. Like it's just disgusting. And also, I dare say, it's going to take a lot of time. It's all this 7 times he's anointing the altar with oil, like, geez. And then, okay, now with my finger, I just got to make sure there's enough blood on the horns, and then, okay, get it on this horn. And the congregation's like, it's beautiful. I find this is beautiful. Okay, now he's pouring the blood on the ground there. It's beautiful. Beautiful imagery, isn't it? Yeah, no, totally beautiful imagery. Do we get to eat at any point, There's people way in the back because there's 2 million people. Probably only 600,000 people are showing up to this because minus like 3,000 because, of course, women aren't going to be showing. I mean, there's women that are probably working at the front of the doorway there or something like that. They're not going to be like part of any kind of ceremony. They're women. He took all the fat that was on the innards and the cover of the liver and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and Moses burned it on the altar. But the bull and its skin and its meat and its dung he burned with fire outside the camp, as Yahweh commanded Moses. Some of this stuff we just have to power through. He presented the ram of the burnt offering. Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. He killed it. He killed it. He killed it. And Moses sprinkled the blood around on the altar. He cut the ram into its pieces, and Moses burned the head and the pieces and the fat. He washed the innards and the legs with water, and Moses burned the whole ram on the altar. It was a burnt offering for a pleasant aroma. It was an offering made by fire to Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moses. He presented the other ram, the ram of consecration. Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. He killed it. And Moses took some of its blood and put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear and on the thumb of his right hand and on the great toe of his right foot. He brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the tip of their right ear and on the thumb of their right hand and on the great toe of their right foot. And Moses sprinkled the blood around on the altar. He took the fat tail, all the fat that was on the innards, the cover of the liver, the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Yahweh, he took 1 unleavened cake, 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat on the right thigh. I don't have a lot to say here. We're just trying to power through it because, as you guys will remember, we know this. Okay, this has been well documented that they were going to do this, and it sounds like Moses is doing it right. I don't remember exactly how God had told him to do it, but I'm sure it will say just the way Yahweh told him to do it, whatever, and so he's doing it right. He put all these in Aaron's hands and in his son's hands and waved them for a stupid wave offering before Yahweh. I added the word stupid, just so you guys know that is not in the text. I know I don't add stuff usually, but in this case, these wave offerings are kind of stupid. Moses took them from their hands and burned them on the altar on the burnt offering. They were a consecration offering for a pleasant aroma. It was an offering made by fire to Yahweh. Moses took the breast and waved it for a wave offering before Yahweh. It was Moses' portion of the ram of consecration as Yahweh commanded Moses. See, I told you it was exactly the way Yahweh had commanded Moses. So we don't need all the detail. He was just doing what he was commanded to do. Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood, which was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron, gross, on his garments, and on his sons, and on his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron, his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Everything's so sanctified. Everyone's so creative, everything's so sanctified. Moses said to Aaron and to his sons, boil the meat at the door of the tent of meeting, and there eat it, and the bread that is in the basket of consecration, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. What remains of the meat and of the bread you shall burn with fire. Waste it. Please waste all the stuff that you don't eat. Eat a little bit of it, but waste a lot of it. I am God and I love waste. You shall not go out the door of the tent of meeting for 7 days until the days of your consecration are fulfilled. I love the number 7. Have I told you this? Have I told you how much I love the number 7? 7 days in a week. I just wait around for 7 days. Just everything's going to be 777. It's my favorite thing ever. What has been done today, so Yahweh has commanded to do, to make atonement for you. You shall stay at the door of the tent of meeting day and night 7 days, and keep Yahweh's command that you don't die, for so I am commanded. That's always an added sort of thing, and this isn't something that's going to go away with Christianity, right? It's like you got to do this such a way, believe such a way, something like this, so you don't die. Do what I commanded so you don't die. There's a threat attached to it, right? And that's never going to go away. Imagine God really loved us. Imagine it was for us, right? Imagine when he made laws or rules and things like that, it was actually for our welfare, for our well-being. There would not need to be a threat. Now, obviously, some people would still do the thing that's unhealthy. We do things that are unhealthy for us all the time. But if he was like, listen, drink, this amount of water every single day, thus saith the Lord. If you don't, you're going to get a headache, or, you're not going to function as well. If you really don't drink any water, you will die, but that's just like a natural consequence to not drinking water. So practically, my law would be for you to drink a lot of water so that you're healthy. You're going to feel better. But in this case, it's like there's no reason to do this. There's no practical reason to do this. The only way that I can compel you to do it is by threatening death. If you don't do this, you will die. I'll kill you. So do what I've commanded so you don't die. There's always that threat. Believe in Jesus so you don't die, aka are eternally damned. Like, I get it if it's like, don't kill each other. Because if you start killing each other, someone's going to kill you. You're going to die. You know what I mean? Like that sort of makes more sense. That one's practical. Don't steal, because there's a chance someone's going to get angry that you stole from them and they'll kill you, or they'll steal from you. So don't do that. And if you don't do that, you won't die. I mean, there's still a chance people are going to kill you, but there would be less of a reason. But in this case, it's like, do this completely ridiculous thing for no good reason so you don't die, because I'm going to kill you. So you better be killing a lot of animals. I love you. It is hard to get your head around that because it doesn't make sense. Aaron and his sons did all the things which Yahweh commanded by Moses. Yeah, just This chapter could be one verse long. This chapter literally could have been one verse long. Why are you putting me through this Bible? Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. We will see you next time for chapter 9. Hopefully we get something interesting in chapter 9, but if not, hey, we're in this together, right? So I love you for that. I love you for that. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.